I used to hate cleaning around my plant pots because they were heavy and really inconvenient to move. Whenever I got to that area, I had to lift the pots with both hands or drag them to another spot, which was especially tiring with larger plants. Sometimes I had just finished cleaning the floor, but when moving the plant pots around, leftover water and soil underneath would spill out and make the floor dirty again. On some days, the damp soil even left dark marks on the floor, so I had to keep wiping the same area over and over again. Then I tried using a plant saucer with 4 small wheels attached underneath. I just placed the pot on top and the whole thing can move smoothly without any lifting. Since using this setup, I can simply nudge the pot with my foot or gently push it by hand whenever I clean the floor. The wheels make moving the pot super smooth and quick, even with heavier plants. The saucer underneath also catches excess water after watering the plants, so the floor no longer gets wet or dirty with soil. When I need to clean the floor, I just slide the plant to one side, wipe underneath, then move it back into place. I used to leave the blender sitting there after making smoothies and wash it later, but after a short time, fruit, milk, and food stuck around, the blades would dry up and stick tightly to the jar, especially under the blades. It's very hard to clean because it's difficult to reach and easy to cut your hand while scrubbing. Sometimes cleaning just one blender would already take a lot of time and effort. I usually add a little water and a drop of dish soap, then run the blender for a few seconds to clean the inside. This only takes about 30 to 50 seconds, but saves a lot of scrubbing time later. The spinning motion helps clean small areas around the blades that are hard to reach by hand. After blending the soapy water, I just rinse it with clean water and let it dry upside down. This method is quick, easy, and keeps the blender clean without needing a lot of scrubbing. After using plastic bags, I no longer stuff them randomly into a cabinet corner. Instead, I smooth them out and fold them into small compact triangles. Before, every time I needed a bag, the whole drawer would become a mess because the bags were wrinkled and puffed up, even though there weren't that many of them. When you flatten the bags first, the air inside gets pushed out, so the bags become much more compact. Then you just keep folding them into triangles and the bags turn into neat little blocks that are very easy to organize. With this method, I can store a lot of bags in a small basket or container without making everything look messy. Whenever I need one, I can quickly grab a single bag without pulling out a whole pile like before. Folded bags are also really convenient to carry in your handbag, backpack, or car when going shopping or to the market. It's just a small habit, but it helps keep the storage area much tidier and saves quite a lot of space in the kitchen. These habits will keep your kitchen organized and pest-free. Let's get started. Always try to wash the dishes before going to bed. Don't leave dirty dishes overnight because leftover food and standing water can easily attract cockroaches, ants, and even mice into the kitchen. If you're too tired, remove the leftover food and soak the dishes in water first. This will make washing much easier the next morning and also help prevent bad smells in the kitchen. Let the dishes dry completely on a rack or in a basket before putting them away. Next is cleaning the sink and your dishwashing tools. After washing the dishes, take a few extra seconds to clean the sponge and the soap tray. A lot of people forget that the dish sponge itself can hold tons of bacteria and bad odors if it stays wet all the time. Rinse off any food stuck on the sponge and squeeze it dry after every use. Just spending a few extra minutes each night cleaning the sink area can keep your kitchen tidier, fresher, and make cooking every day feel much more enjoyable. After washing the dishes, try to let them dry completely before putting them away. I used to store them while they were still a little wet, but later I noticed the cabinet became damp and started to smell. Water left under bowls, cups, or drying racks can slowly make the cabinet damp, damage the wood, and cause a musty smell. Closed corners can also attract cockroaches, ants, and other insects. Now, I always let the dishes dry fully before storing them. It's a small change, but it keeps the kitchen cabinet much cleaner and fresher. I used to hate cleaning around my plant pots because water and dirt would always build up underneath them. After a few days, excess water from watering the plants would collect under the pots and slowly leave yellow stains and stubborn dirt marks that were hard to clean. If not cleaned regularly, the floor or shelf surface can become stained and much harder to clean later on. Then I tried placing small silicone door bumper pads underneath my smaller plant pots. Since the pots are slightly raised, water no longer sits directly underneath, and the area stays much drier and cleaner. It also makes the pots easier to move when cleaning without scratching the surface or dragging dirt across the floor. After using a non-stick pan, clean it with a soft sponge instead of scrubbing it with steel wool. A lot of people use metal scrubbers to remove burnt food or grease quickly, but this can easily damage the non-stick coating. At first, it may only leave a few small scratches, but over time the coating will start peeling more and more. Then food starts sticking to the pan, making cooking much more difficult. Now I clean the pan gently with water, a soft sponge, and dish soap. The soft sponge also helps prevent scratching the pan's surface, so even after prolonged use, the pan remains clean and cooks much better. Just changing one small habit can make your pan last longer, be easier to clean, and safer for everyday use. This is one of my pans that got damaged because I used to scrub it with steel wool. The surface became full of peeling spots and scratches. If the coating is badly damaged, it's better to replace the pan for safer daily cooking. Water used to splash onto the floor, making the area wet and slippery. If left too long, standing water can cause damp smells and damage the floor faster. Place a small mat under the sink to absorb water splashes while washing dishes or cooking. It's a small change, but very useful for anyone who cooks or washes dishes often. Every night after cooking, I spend a few minutes sweeping the kitchen floor with this small broom set. I usually sweep carefully around the stove, under the cabinets, and near the sink because these areas easily collect food crumbs, vegetable pieces, and seasoning spills while cooking. Leaving small food scraps overnight not only makes the kitchen look messy, but can also attract cockroaches, ants, and cause unpleasant smells the next morning. Just sweeping everything up at night helps keep the kitchen floor much cleaner and tidier. After sweeping, I use a kitchen cleaner to wipe down the stovetop, the area around the gas stove, and the kitchen counter. Grease splatters are much easier to clean if you wipe them right away instead of letting them build up over time. Just a quick wipe with a soft cloth instantly makes the kitchen look brighter and cleaner. This small habit only takes a few minutes every night, but it makes the kitchen feel so much nicer the next morning. With no crumbs on the floor or greasy countertops, preparing breakfast or starting the day feels much more comfortable and productive. After making tea, try to throw away the tea leaves and rinse the strainer right away instead of leaving it for too long. When the tea leaves are still wet, the residue and tea stains usually rinse off very easily with just water, so cleaning is much quicker and easier. Tea residue that builds up over time can also cause the tools to absorb unpleasant smells and even affect the flavor of your next cups of tea. Especially with small mesh strainers, once the holes get clogged, the tea flows much more slowly and the filtering works a lot worse too. Now, after using them, I usually throw away the tea leaves right away and rinse everything clean with water. It only takes a little extra time, but it helps keep the tools clean, prevents stains, and keeps the tea tasting fresh and flavorful for the next use. Use microfiber cloths for daily kitchen cleaning because they absorb water well, dry quickly, and clean more effectively than regular cloths. I find them especially useful for cleaning countertops, tables, and glass because they leave fewer streaks. But don't forget to wash them weekly, especially cloths used for greasy kitchen messes. If not washed regularly, they can collect bacteria and start to smell. I usually wash kitchen cloths separately and let them dry completely after use. It's a small habit, but it makes cleaning much cleaner and more hygienic. Clean your microwave as soon as you notice food splatters inside instead of waiting too long to clean it. While reheating food, sauce, grease, or soup can easily splash onto the walls and glass inside the microwave. But many people ignore it because it doesn't seem too dirty yet. However, if left too long, these food stains will dry out and harden after being reheated again and again. I usually put a few lemon slices into a small bowl of water and microwave it for about 2 to 5 minutes. The steam from the lemon water helps soften grease and food stuck on the inside walls. The natural lemon oils also help remove odors, so the microwave feels much fresher after cleaning. After heating it, I just wipe everything gently with a microfiber cloth, and the stains come off easily without hard scrubbing. I also make sure to wipe the glass door, the turntable, and the inside corners because food splatters often hide there. Cleaning early also helps reduce bacteria buildup and prevents odors from transferring between different foods. It only takes a few minutes, but it keeps the microwave cleaner, fresher, and much more pleasant to use every day. After cutting food, try to wash your cutting board and knife right away. When the food residue is still fresh, stains and grease are usually easy to clean with just water and a little dish soap. If left too long, the residue dries up and sticks much more firmly. Especially smells from onions, garlic, meat, fish, or oily foods. At that point, you'll need to scrub harder and spend much more time cleaning. Washing them right after use also helps prevent odors from building up, reduces bacteria growth, and keeps the kitchen cleaner while cooking. It only takes a few minutes, but it makes cleanup much easier overall. When peeling vegetables, cutting fruit, or preparing meat and fish, I no longer leave scraps directly on the countertop or let them scatter around the kitchen. Before, after cooking, vegetable peels, stems, and food scraps would be everywhere, so cleaning up took quite a while. I started using a small basket or tray to collect trash right next to the prep area. I also hung a mesh basket on the kitchen cabinet door and placed a trash bag inside to turn it into a mini trash bin. While cooking, I can simply sweep the scraps into the basket without bending down to look for the main trash can, which is super convenient. This keeps the countertop much cleaner, drier, and more organized. After cooking, I just remove the trash bag and throw it away in one go, which saves a lot of cleanup time at the end of the day. It's a small habit, but I find it incredibly convenient, especially for people who cook every day or prepare lots of ingredients at once. Quickly wipe down spice jars after cooking to remove grease and fingerprints. If left too long, grease builds up into a sticky layer that's much harder to clean. I just give everything a quick wipe after cooking and it instantly looks much cleaner. This really only takes about 30 seconds, but it helps keep the kitchen neat every day. When baking or kneading dough, I usually place a kitchen towel under the cutting board or work surface. Before, the board would slide around while rolling dough, which was really annoying. After placing a towel underneath, the board stayed much more stable and barely moved. The towel adds grip, making the dough easier to roll out. Dry flour also tends to spill everywhere while baking. With the towel underneath, most of the flour stays on the towel, making cleanup much easier. Afterward, I just shake out the towel or wash it. It's a very simple tip, but it makes baking much neater and easier.